All right, I think we're going to go ahead and get started, everybody.
So my name is Jake Bailey. I got started in real estate investing like 3 years ago with my brother. We bought a seller finance deal off of a builder who couldn't move the property. We ended up renting it on Airbnb. And I was super young, and I was thrilled at the money I was making, and I was stoked. And so kind of from there, I decided that I wanted to do real estate investing forever. So I did some fix and flips, and then I came on with Utah house buyers, and now I do acquisitions, and I help them manage their sales team. And I love it. I have a couple of rentals of my own. I focus pretty much mainly on short-term rentals. That's my goal, and that's my focus. It does really well for me.
What's up, everybody? I'm Brian Martineau. I'm the co-founder to Utah House Buyers and Beyond Wholesaling. So I got started in real estate back in 2016 when I got my real estate license. Quickly found out that I wasn't cut to do traditional real estate. I kind of bombed my first 2 listings, and it was kind of embarrassing. It's a different story, but anyways, I quickly realized I didn't want to do traditional real estate, and I came across a podcast on wholesaling, and I realized that was something that I could scale, that I could actually build a business out of. A few months later, Clay and I actually met at a wholesaling summit, a seminar here in Salt Lake, and we joined forces, created Utah House Buyers. And yeah, about 4 years later, from 2017 till now, we now have been able to cherry pick our rental properties from our own direct-to-seller marketing. We now own over 200 doors now, right, since we just closed on that Ohio deal. But yeah, super excited to be here. Again, humbled at the experience to be able to be before you guys today. I hope you guys can, get a little bit of information from me. Hopefully I can further you along in your journey. So yeah, again, we're an open book here at Utah House Buyers. We want to be transparent with you guys of how we run our business. We want to be that resource to you guys to be able to JV on deals to help you guys out where you guys need.
I'm Adam Stevens. I am from Layton, Utah, and I got into real estate in 2005. Bought my first house, moved a couple years later, and kept it as a rental. I had an awesome real estate mentor who walked me through my first few purchases. I now have 10 doors, and I was kind of just plugging on because all my focus was on being a contractor. That's where all my energy was, and real estate was kind of like a little side thing. And then it was like after 10 years, I was actually making money, and I was like, this real estate thing is awesome. I should just focus on that. So in 2017, I bought my first flipped houses since 2017. But I'm like a lone wolf, so I did everything myself. I carried the tool bag. I did everything. I did all the tile and finish work. And in 2019 or 2020, I decided it was time for a change, so I've been wholesaling for 2021.
Here's a question. How hot is the market right now, and how does it affect your ability to get deals?
So hot.
Definitely, I think it has affected the ability to get deals because everybody knows that it's hot. Like, it's really hot. It can kind of play in your favor, but also not at the same time. You just have to know the key points on why your seller should sell to you rather than to somebody else. And if you can help them to understand and lead them through that process, you will get a deal, right? A lot of people talk to me on the phone and they're like, well, Jake, market's so hot, no one can buy houses right now. I say, no, there are deals being done every single day. Our team does deals every single day. Every week, we're doing deals. So I wouldn't get scared, and I wouldn't not do this because you think the market's too hot. That just makes it really awesome because everybody knows that it's hot. So it's a good time to sell.
So it's definitely shifted, and you and I have seen that since 2017 when we started. We used to be able to send out a mail campaign and like almost 100% know that we would get a deal out of that mail campaign, right? Since then, I can tell you that if you send out a mail campaign, you're almost guaranteed not to get a deal. You have to send multiple mail campaigns, or you have to call a lot of people to get a deal. But the thing that has changed is our assignment fee size has changed. So when we first started, our assignment fee size, like the fee that you get from selling a contract, if anyone doesn't understand what that means, it used to be between $10,000 to $15,000. Right now, we're averaging between $25,000 to $30,000 per assignment of a contract. So a little bit fewer deals, but also at the same time, since then, we've also gotten a lot better at getting deals. Not only are we offering, we're not just offering cash to people anymore. We now offer, seller finance, subject twos. So we have more tools under our belt to be able to structure deals with sellers where they don't fit the traditional, like, here's a cash offer for your property.
To believe that there are deals out there. If you don't believe it, you're not going to get deals. You're just going to give up. Adam talked about, hard work, right? So consistency. That's a huge thing that I didn't used to believe in as much as I do now. And people are always asking us, what's the secret? Like, what are you guys doing? Well, we're just doing something consistently, right? We're consistently marketing. We're consistently calling people, not just for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, but for years, okay? And then what Brian just touched on, like having more tools in your tool belt, understanding how to get creative, how to structure deals differently. And if you don't know how to do that, come talk to us. Come talk to someone that has the knowledge and can help you out. All right, next question. How much in marketing should I be spending to get a deal?
It's a good question because it's honestly one of the biggest questions that I get asked all the time is how much do I need to be spending in order to get a deal? And it actually varies, honestly. First of all, obviously in the market that you're in, how capable are you to be able to be consistent with your marketing, okay? And that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be spending tens of thousands of dollars all the time to be getting deals. Like, for example, we currently spend about $50,000 a month in marketing to get the lead flow that we have currently. But that doesn't necessarily say that that's what everybody has to spend in order to get a deal. You could be spending $1,000 a month and get deals right now. But the reason why I say that is because you would have to have an insane amount of drive to go out and do deals yourself, to find deals yourself. So that would require you to be able to completely step out of your comfort zone, completely be willing to fail and fall on your face multiple times and get laughed at by sellers and, people in the Chick-fil-A line. You really got to get your name out there and let people know what you're doing in order to get deals. And it's those type of people that get the deals.
I actually did have someone at AutoZone one time tell me that he had a distressed property that he wanted to sell because I told him what I do. I think my answer is similar to yours, like you don't know until you try. And so I think the best practice is to pick what works for you, whether it's mailers or cold calling or text messaging or knocking on doors, and go out there and do that for a really committed amount of time. I think like 3 to 6 months would be a minimum amount. And go out and do it, and once you get your first deal, go back and look and see how much money you had to spend to get it. Yep. And then now you have something to base it off of.
Yeah, what I love about that is, again, it ties in the consistency thing that we've talked about. Because we've seen this firsthand with a lot of our coaching students that we've had that, people are super eager to go out and, write a $5,000, $10,000 check for a seminar or a coaching program, and then they just expect it to work for them. That's not how it works. Then I've met people that have never done, like they've never got 1 ounce of training and they just go out and start talking to people and say, hey, I want to buy your house. Let's move on. So does the 70% of ARV minus repairs minus the assignment fee work right now? And I'll let you guys talk a little bit about that. And what price point do I need to make offers at right now?
Jake can speak to this as well, but that doesn't work right now. If you're basing your...
Well, hold on. Does everyone know what that means, what we're talking about? No? Okay. I guess we should explain that.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point.
So there's a formula that a lot of times we use to determine what to offer on a property, okay? So we would say, okay, you take the ARV, meaning the after repair value. So let's say you have a property that you think once it's fixed up and nice, it's worth $500,000, okay? You'd say, okay, well, what am I going to offer on this property to the seller? So it's just kind of a ballpark range of where to start your negotiations. So typically we'd say, well, let's take 70% of that number, that after repair value. So that's $350,000, right? Then you'd minus out however many repairs it needs. Let's say it's $50,000, so you're down to $300,000. And then minus your assignment fee. So if we're talking about wholesaling, like, hey, I don't want to flip this house, I just want to wholesale it and make a little money. Let's say I want to make $20,000 on this property. So I'd subtract $20,000 off of that, $300,000, so we're now down to $280,000. So so I'd say theoretically I should offer the seller $280,000 if this property will be worth $500,000 once fixed up. Does that make sense? So that's just kind of a formula that kind of the industry standard that people use to determine values of properties. Anyway.
Yeah, so to answer the question, it's no. You don't go off of that formula right now. And I'll say this, I truly do believe that a lot of new wholesalers and seasoned wholesalers as well are leaving so much money on the table because they think that they need to be somewhere close to that formula. When in reality, our buyers, so when we get a deal under contract and we sell it, you guys get that email blast, it can sometimes go up to 85% of ARV of what they're paying for our deals. Does that make sense? So that means that it's absolutely false. Like, that does not work anymore. So what we do now is, as long as it's a deal, or as long as it looks like it's somewhat of a discount off of what what other properties are selling for in the area, what we call like the silver platter approach. If you were to draw a 1 mile radius around this property that you have under contract and look at all of the other homes that have sold in the area, as long as that home is somewhat at a discount, get it under contract. And I know that sounds really hokey or whatever, but it works. Like, we can still make deals work even at we can get deals under contract at 75% of ARV without minusing repairs or anything and still make it work. Even up to 80% of ARV, we can.
I think the first thing when you're looking at a property, you've got a motivated seller or someone that is even interested in selling, I think that you should definitely try and see why they are selling before you make an offer or before you look at it. And then talk to them really about why they're selling and why they would even sell it to you. And then you can talk about price. And you can ask them what their price is to get it out of them. You want to help these people, right? When you're real estate investing, when you're doing wholesaling and in specific, I used to think, oh, I'm getting these deals at a discount, like I feel bad. But in all reality, the longer I do this, the more I see you're actually helping these people. They have no idea what to do next. And a lot of the times their property needs help. And so help them. Talk to them why they're selling. Ask them what they need for the property. If they need to find another property, have them call an agent. If you don't know an agent, talk to DK. Like, solve the problem. That will get you a deal almost 95% of the time.
If the market's so hot and they can get so much out of their property, why would anyone sell at a discount in this market?
I'll just do a quick answer. The last deal I did, the guys, we negotiated a price, and a friend was over the house, and he was like, why don't you just sleep on it and get back together tomorrow? And the owner was like, I don't want to sleep on it. I've already slept on it, and I'm ready to sell the house. So he had already done all like the mental work that he needed to do, and he just wanted to sell it as quickly as possible, and we closed it in 2 weeks. So that, I think, time. So that would be my answer. Like, people just want to move on from a problem.
What else?
There's a number of different reasons why people would rather work with us rather than list it for, traditionally on the market. It ranges from everything of they're embarrassed of the home. They don't want their neighbors to know that their house is listed on the market. They're getting a divorce and they don't got time. So like Clay and Adam said, people trade equity for convenience and speed. That's what they're doing. So it's honestly, I think this is where wholesalers and investors get a bad rap a lot of times, is because they think that we're somehow tricking sellers into people that don't know how much their home is worth or whatever. And that's actually 100% not true. Like, we actually let them know, like, they actually have, in our contract, they have to sign that, like, they know they're selling their home at a discount, right? They know what we're doing. Like, they're selling their home full, with full knowledge that it's being sold at a discount to us, right? And they're 100% happy. Like, go look at our reviews. Like, people are thrilled with selling their properties at a discount. And honestly, sometimes they even come to us and they say, I hope you guys make a lot of money on this deal. Isn't that crazy? Like, I hope you guys make a lot of money. For someone to say that, that truly says that, like, we have a good service that we offer people.
Don't think that there's no deals, because there are people out there right now that have a motivation, right? So that's what we're talking about here. There's an underlying motivation.
Oh, so yeah, this goes back to having a mindset of being a grinder. You have to be a grinder to start. You have to let everybody know what you're doing. Everybody. Every single person you ever come in contact with, they should know that you're an investor buying properties at a discount. And that's another thing also. That's the reason, part of the reason why we bring Francisco here with Boomerang Capital. Sometimes people think that they actually have to have cash in order to do deals for those that are starting out. You don't. You don't actually have to, but you have to have access to cash, right? So that's why Francisco is here. If anyone, if you're talking to somebody, you can you can, as long as you qualify with Francisco, which there's not much to qualify with, right? As long as you have a good deal, you can let people know what you do, that you can buy properties for cash. And to them, that makes it sound like you have the cash in your pocket, but that's not necessarily what it means. So I guess what I'm trying to say is all you got to do is let people know what you're doing. What we call in our coaching course, we have a whole section on this. It's called guerrilla marketing, and that's everything from calling for rent by owners, for sale by owners, making offers off of the MLS. There's so many different ways that you can make deals, and I can tell you guys honestly, if I was on a budget, if I didn't have if I had $0, I know I could make good money in the next few months. Honestly, just from making offers off of the MLS. It's crazy, but we have a whole system of how we make offers off the MLS, get deals under contract, and still mark them up and sell them for a higher price. Sure.
I think that the last question and this question go kind of together. Why would someone sell it at a discount? Well, all right, let's think for a second. Why would they sell it at a discount? It's tired landlord. Embarrassment is huge. Tons of different reasons. It's abandoned. They're getting a divorce. So I would go to those places, right? If you ever see a for rent sign, I would call it and say, would you ever mind selling your property to me? Or if I got you a really good offer, would you even sell it? A divorce attorney. Call every divorce attorney and say, hey, I'm buying properties. If you need someone to buy it quick, give me a call. Like our waiter the other night, we were just saying we're doing some renovations at our property. We kicked out some tenants, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, I had to kick out tenants one time." And right there, here's my business card, buddy. Like, sell me your property. I just tell everybody, you got to find the tired landlords, find the divorce attorneys, find people that need to sell at a discount. That's where you find your deal.
And I'll just share a story to make a point. First of all, I think there's a lot of ways. I was at the bank getting earnest money to put a deal under contract, so I was like pretty high on life, picking up money at the bank. And I overheard the conversation next to me, and I'll make it short. He basically didn't have any money in his account, and he couldn't, get any money out. So I was waiting for my check, and I just said, "Hey man, I'll give you $25 because that's what he was trying to get out." And he was like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll give you $25. Just let me withdraw it real quick." Thinking nothing of it. I withdrew 25, handed it to him, just like, "Have a great day, man." And he was like, "Who are you?" And I was like, "I'm just a guy." He's like, "Do you live here?" And I'm like, "No, I'm just remodeling a house down the road. I flip houses." And he's like, "I should have you call my uncle." Well, actually, he's in jail, so I should have you call my mom. And so we walked out to the car together, and he was super chatty and super grateful, and he gave me his mom's number and gave me the address of this property. I drove straight to the address. I called his mom, or I called him, and he was with his mom, and he said, "Mom, this is that guy I was telling you about. You should talk to him." And I can hear her in the background like, "I'm not going to talk to him. I don't want to talk to him." He's like, "Mom, what is the big deal? Just if you don't want to sell to him, don't sell to him." So she comes on the phone. She's kind of a little bit high-strung about it, bothered that I was talking to her. She met me at the property the next day, and I bought that property. That's the quick version. From her brother who's in jail. That was interesting. And then while I'm there buying it, she said, "Have you called on the property across the street?" And I said, "No, tell me more." And I bought that property as well. Yeah. And so just thank you. So just talking to people, like there are people out there who need help and they don't know where to look, and they're not even gonna know to talk to you unless you just mention like what you do or tell them stories about what you've done. People will be there.
Actually, I want to add one more thing to that. Just thinking about it. So we pull a lot of lists from the county and from lists from the internet, and we have some people drive around pinning properties and stuff like that. There honestly, if out of all the marketing channels that we could do, we still can't reach everybody. We even have a TV commercial, right, that we have, and it's stuff like what Adam just barely said. That like those type like. Just getting what's the word, like guerrilla marketing, just like getting in front of people and letting them know what you're doing. Even though that one person, they might have seen our TV commercial ad, or they might have received 100 postcards from us or gotten cold calls and whatever from us. It's seeing someone where they knocked on their door or talked to them in front of standing at the bank or whatever. That's how you're going to separate yourself if you're on a budget. Doesn't matter how much marketing you can do to somebody like that, they might respond better to someone like that.
Can I add more to that? I think this is such a great topic, and this is right in line with what you just said. I've sent out mailers, I've cold called, and this guy happened to pick up on the second or third time I dialed his number, and he was mad, like he was not a happy camper. And I will tell you, I haven't bought the property yet, so there's no clapping after this one. But we talked for a minute, he asked me to call him back. And he tells me, like, I've never answered any of these phone calls. I throw those mailers straight in the trash. So just the fact that I had persistence on the call and got lucky, I happen to now be on the phone with him. Well, I called him back when he told me to. He was mad that I hadn't seen the property, so I actually went out and saw it and then came back and called him the next day, and he was like really surprised that I went and saw the property. And I'm like, yeah, man, that's a crazy property. It's like 3 duplexes and a house all on one lot. And then after that, he said, call me in 2 weeks. I called him, he wouldn't answer, called him again, wouldn't answer, texted him, wouldn't answer. So I showed up at his house, which might be a good idea, might be a bad idea. He was livid beyond belief that I showed up on his door, but he didn't slam the door on me. We talked for 20 minutes, and he was mad the whole time, but the conversation's still open. He wants me to give him an offer on these properties. And so again, the mailers didn't reach him, the phone calls didn't reach him, the money didn't reach him. It was actually just like me, like I reached him.
Yeah, Jake has lots of stories like that.
Share that?
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's never a bad idea to go knock on their door. Like, it's terrifying. The first time I did it, I was like, oh my gosh, this guy's gonna be so mad at me. No, it's totally normal. They're actually just like taken back. A lot of the time, they're not answering you because they like don't want to answer you. It's because they got a lot of crap going on, and it's just getting put on the back burner. Like, there's a lot of stuff that I put on the back burner, like that doesn't take my focus. So if you can show up and just be super nice and ask how you can help, I think it's awesome.
Yeah,
just go knock on their door.
Yeah, over and over.
So we don't do door knocking right now, aside from what Jake does. So what Jake just barely talked about is when we get a lead through our pipeline. So I believe like some of the hottest ones that come through are from PPC, right, Jake?
Yeah.
So when there's a lead that comes through, pay per click, that's a little ad at the top of a Google search of like sell my house fast for cash, right? Jake has gone, because those are our hottest leads, he will drive straight to the property and knock on their door, right? But as of right now, we don't have a need for that actually, guerrilla marketing, ground zero type of marketing.
Because that's what I did when I started my real estate sales. I door knocked 6 months every single day, in rain, in snow, every afternoon for 3 hours. And then in the morning and noontime, I'll make 10 phone calls to my database for follow-up, and afternoon, bunch of door knocking. That was my style to build momentum.
How'd you do? How are you doing?
I'm still in real estate.
Still in real estate. That's good.
If anything will put you out of real estate, it's door knocking in the rain, right? To answer your question, I'm not actively door knocking. I think he said ground zero, and I think that's exactly it. Like, once you start building stuff up, you're going to a point there's maybe not time for door knocking, but you do have the money to now send out mailers, or you do have the money to pay a cold caller. But that being said, I think the market's shifting. I don't know exactly what it looks like, but I think door knocking has a place for sure. Just
It'll
from what
always
was,
have a place.
yeah, I think it has a place because texting is getting harder. People are getting more and more mailers. So to see if, and COVID's happening, nobody's seen a face, you know, in a year and a half, and then they see a face, and it's a different experience.
So yeah, I don't door knock like it was said. What I do, if you guys want to do it, is if I can't get in touch with the lead, this is really a good way. If you're trying and they won't get back with you, if you email, text, call, nothing, is you can just pull their information on tax data on the MLS. If you're not an agent, you can talk to, like, all of us are agents. DK is back there. He's giving out his card. You run tax data. You can find their home address of the owner of the property that you're trying to buy, and then you just go to that house and you knock it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say that same thing. Like door knocking is maybe most effective when you're targeting it, as you mentioned, to maybe abandoned homes or a lead that you talked to but didn't get much movement on, something like that. Maybe not just going down the street knocking on doors.
Yeah, targeted door knocking
Yeah, yeah.
is better.
Yeah.
What other questions? Sorry, you had one?
When you open up the conversation on the phone or you go knock on somebody's door, how do you open that conversation up? Have you found an effective way to do that without them slamming the door in the face?
The conversation about money or selling, like the price or selling, just selling it all. On the phone, I just jump right into it. I don't waste any time. Yeah, cold calling script. I do have script. I just say, hi, this is Adam. Do you want me to do the whole script or just when I jump into it? I basically ask how they're doing. They tell me. I say, I'm looking for the owner of this address. Are you the owner? They say yes or no. If they say no, I say, oh, sorry about that. You don't happen to know so-and-so. If they say yes, I just say, this is a little bit out of the blue. I was curious if you'd ever thought about selling or might consider an offer on the house. And I just jump. That's it. I jump right into it. If they say no, then I move on. If they say no, I have a couple other questions. But if they say yes, then I keep going into the conversation. In person, probably the same thing. Like if I were to knock on let's say a vacant home, I find the owner and I go to his house. I'd go to his house and I would just say, hey, I was driving in the area. I saw that house has been vacant. I actually spoke to the neighbor. He said it's been vacant for 10 years. I do blah, 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 whatever you do. And then ask him, have you ever thought about selling or would you consider an offer on the place? No. Oh, what are your plans? And then I kind of go from there. Anyways, hopefully that tells you how quickly I get into it, pretty quickly.
Yeah. There's a guy so we just finished up at sales training with the team. His name is Chris Voss. He is an animal. Anyways, he has a line that I really like. So I would say, man, my name's Jake. I'm giving you a call. This is totally ridiculous. And you're probably going to hang up on me, maybe. But I'm an investor. I'm buying a property in the next little bit. Have you ever thought of selling it? I know probably not. I know you're not. But have you thought about it? And I'm ridiculous for saying this. Like, it's okay if you hang up. And they always laugh. They're like, oh no, you're totally okay. Yeah, we want to sell. Yeah. That's a really good way. Is you just kind of go so far apologizing that they feel uncomfortable and say it's okay, and then you can do your talk. I found that to be pretty good. You're just like, this is totally ridiculous. I can't even believe I'm calling you. But I am going to be buying something in the area. Would you sell it?
Yeah, it's so much better than a pushy salesman.
So I call more expired and withdrawn cancel listings. And similar to your approach, I will call them, introduce myself, and I say, I'm sure you got a lot of calls about your property. And then I introduce myself. It's a lot more easier because they won't hang up on you. Because I already mentioned, they probably have received 20 calls that day, and I'm the 21st, maybe.
Yeah. All right, let's do.
Can I add one more quick thing to that?
Yeah.
Is don't feel like you need to be polished. I'm on the phone all day. I do this, and then somebody today totally caught me off guard because I've been calling her for 2 months, and she answered the phone, and I was just like, whoa, and it was totally fine. It was totally fine. I sounded like a doof. My heart rate was up, and it was totally fine. So don't stress about perfection.
Yeah, exactly. Just do it. All right, let's take maybe one or two more questions, and we'll wrap it up. Just to be cognizant of your guys' day. Right here, gentlemen.
What do you say when you can't get a number from the seller and you've already tried different approaches to get a price? Do you just offer a price range?
Yeah, that's a great question for Jake. Pass over to him.
Okay. So my partner, Dane, he's very smart, taught me everything that I know pretty much. We created a formula for this, okay? So there are the sellers, for anyone that doesn't understand, there are sellers out there that will not give you their price, right? They understand that I will not give you my price first. He who speaks first loses, okay? People might judge us for this, but honestly, these people are very frustrating to me because I'm just trying to work out a deal. If it's not a deal, it's okay, right? What we do is, if they really won't, and I've gone through everything to get their number, I'll call Dane. I say, Dane, dude, this guy, you got to call this guy. Dane will call the guy, give him a crappy offer, all right? And Dane, he'll be like, yeah, dude, I'll buy your house for like $300,000. The guy goes, are you even kidding me? Oh, why would you even offer that? And he's like, well, what do you want? And he's like, I want $500,000. And then Dane will call me back and he'll say he wants $500,000. And so that's what we do. There's always a way, but yeah, so.
What are some other strategies for getting a number out from you, Adam?
What you said is do a range. I often will do a range, a low range, just to get the conversation open. They'll say, $200,000 to $250,000, you're crazy. Oh, well, what did you have in mind? Well, I want $260,000 out of it. And now the conversation's open, and sometimes it's that easy. And the second thing, which I just had this morning or yesterday, I just asked twice, like sometimes just asking in different ways. What were you, how much do you want to get out of it? Well, I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. Oh, okay, blah, blah, blah. Well, if you were to walk away today, how much would you want to have? Oh, $135,000,
Yeah.
Asking a few different ways.
Can I add one more? So, yeah, some people will say, oh, I haven't thought about it. Oh, yeah, well, that's pretty normal. Most people don't think about it every day. Now that you're thinking about it, what do you think you'd want to get? So, I mean, there's a lot of different ways. You can also be like, hey, you can give them a ballpark. You could also, I like the one where you say, well, honestly, hey, you don't even have to sell your property to me. Sounds like, honestly, I don't even need to buy your property. We're looking at a couple of different options. But, if you can help me to understand what you need to get out of it, maybe I'm not your best buyer, but I've been doing this a while. I could probably connect you with someone that would be a pretty good buyer for you. That's why I'm asking. That usually gets it. It's pretty rare now that we don't get a price.
Man, this is gold, guys. I hope you wrote that down. We got to wrap it up, guys. I know there's more questions, so if you do have questions, again, we'll hang out. Hey, thank you guys for coming. Thanks, Adam, for being here. Thank you all for taking time. And, hang out, mingle for a while, and here's our contact information. If we can help you guys out, let us know. Thanks again.